Chapter 1. Whispered Secrets. Haruto Matsuda had always preferred the company of books over people. The quiet corners of the library were his sanctuary, where he could escape the bustling noise of high school life. It was during one of these solitary moments that he first noticed Aoi Takahashi. Aoi was everything Haruto was not. She was vibrant and outgoing, her laughter a melody that echoed through the halls. She was surrounded by friends, always the center of attention. Haruto, with his quiet demeanor and introspective nature, found himself drawn to her like a moth to a flame. One afternoon, as Haruto sat in his usual spot in the library, he saw Aoi rush in, looking flustered. She scanned the room and, seemingly satisfied that she was alone, slipped a small notebook behind a row of books on a high shelf. Curiosity piqued. Haruto waited until she left before retrieving a notebook. It was a diary. Haruto knew he shouldn't read it, but the temptation was too great. He opened it, and the first entry he read made his heart skip a beat. Aoi had written about her fears, her dreams, and most surprisingly, her loneliness. Despite her cheerful facade, Aoi felt isolated, much like Haruto himself. From that day on, Haruto couldn't look at Aoi the same way. He saw through her bright smiles and infectious laughter to the vulnerable girl hiding underneath. He began to follow her more closely, not out of malice, but out of a growing concern and an inexplicable need to protect her. Chapter 2. A Curious Friendship. Haruto's opportunity to get closer to Aoi came sooner than he expected. One day, during a particularly chaotic lunch break, Aoi tripped and spilled her lunch all over Haruto. Embarrassed and apologetic, she insisted on buying him a new meal. As they sat together in the cafeteria, Aoi tried to make small talk. Haruto, initially awkward, found himself opening up to her. They talked about books, movies, and music. Haruto discovered that Aoi had a keen interest in art, a passion he shared. "Would you show me some of your drawings?" Aoi asked one day, her eyes sparkling with genuine interest. Haruto hesitated, but eventually agreed. He brought his sketchbook to school the next day and nervously handed it to her. Aoi flipped through the pages, her expression shifting from curiosity to admiration. "These are amazing, Haruto," she exclaimed. "You should definitely enter the school's art competition." Haruto was taken aback by her enthusiasm. No one had ever shown such interest in his work before. Encouraged by Aoi's words, he started to believe in himself a little more. Their friendship deepened as they continued to share their interests and dreams. Haruto found himself looking forward to their conversations, and Aoi's presence became a bright spot in his otherwise mundane days. Chapter 3. Hidden Feelings. As the weeks passed, Haruto's feelings for Aoi grew stronger. He couldn't deny the flutter in his chest whenever she smiled. It him or the warmth that spread through him when their hands accidentally brushed. But he kept his feelings hidden, afraid of ruining their budding friendship. Aoi, meanwhile, seemed oblivious to Haruto's internal struggle. She continued to be her cheerful, teasing self, often playfully ruffling Haruto's hair or calling him Mr. Serious. Haruto's reserved nature made it difficult for him to respond in kind, but he cherished every moment they spent together. One evening, after a long day of classes, Aoi and Haruto stayed behind to clean up the art room. As they worked side by side, Aoi began to hum a tune. Haruto recognized it as one of his favorite songs and found himself quietly singing along. Aoi stopped and stared at him, her eyes wide with surprise. "I didn't know you could sing, Haruto." Haruto felt his face heat up. "I don't, really. I just like that song." Aoi smiled, a soft, genuine smile that made Haruto's heart ache. "I like it too," she said. "It's one of my favorites." At that moment, Haruto felt a surge of courage. He wanted to tell Aoi how he felt, to confess his growing affection for her. But before he could gather his thoughts, the moment was interrupted by the sound of someone calling Aoi's name. Chapter 4. Confessions in the Rain. The school trip to the countryside was a much-anticipated event. Haruto was both excited and nervous, knowing he would get to spend more time with Aoi. They were assigned to the same group, and Haruto felt a sense of anticipation as they boarded the bus. The trip was filled with activities and sightseeing. but Haruto's favorite moment came on a rainy afternoon. The group was exploring a small village when a sudden downpour forced them to seek shelter. Haruto and Aoi ended up sharing an umbrella, huddled close together. As they walked through the rain, Aoi began to talk about her dreams and fears. She confessed that she often felt pressure to maintain her cheerful facade, even when she was struggling inside. Haruto listened intently, his heart aching for her. "Aoi," he said softly, "you don't have to pretend around me. I like you for who you are, not just the happy girl everyone sees." Aoi looked at him, her eyes wide with surprise. "Haruto." Before she could say more, the rain intensified, and they hurried to find better shelter. Under the awning of a small shop, Haruto finally found the courage to speak his heart. "Aoi, he began, but the words stuck in his throat. He took a deep breath and tried again. "I care about you a lot. More than just a friend." Aoi's eyes softened, and she took Haruto's hand in hers. "Haruto, I care about you too. Let's take things slow and see where this goes, okay?" Haruto nodded, feeling a mix of relief and joy. The rain continued to fall, but under the shared umbrella, Haruto and Aoi felt a warmth that no storm could wash away. Chapter 5. The Rival Appears. Back at school, Haruto's newfound happiness was tested by the arrival of a new student, Riku Tanaka. Tall, athletic, and charismatic, Riku quickly became popular among the students, including Aoi. Haruto couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy every time he saw them together. Riku seemed to take an interest in Aoi, often seeking her out and engaging her in animated conversations. Haruto tried to push down his insecurities, but it was difficult when he saw how easily Riku could make Aoi laugh. One afternoon, Haruto walked into the library and found Riku and Aoi sitting together, their heads close as they discussed something. Haruto felt a knot form in his stomach and quickly turned to leave, but Aoi called out to him. "Haruto, come join us," she said, her smile as bright as ever. Reluctantly, Haruto approached. Riku greeted him with a friendly nod, but Haruto couldn't shake the feeling of being an outsider. As they talked, Haruto's jealousy grew, and he found it hard to focus on the conversation. After that day, Haruto started to distance himself from Aoi, unable to bear the sight of her with Riku. Aoi noticed his change in behavior and tried to reach out, but Haruto's responses were curt and distant. Chapter 6. Mixed Signals. The distance between Haruto and Aoi only grew as the days passed. Haruto's attempts to avoid Aoi led to a series of misunderstandings. Aoi, confused and hurt by Haruto's sudden coldness, began to question their friendship. One evening, Aoi confronted Haruto after school. "Haruto, what's going on? Why are you avoiding me?" Haruto looked away, unable to meet her eyes. "It's nothing, Aoi. I just have a lot on my mind." Aoi's frustration boiled over. "Don't lie to me, Haruto. I thought we were friends. If something's bothering you, you can talk to me." Haruto remained silent, his heart heavy with unspoken words. Aoi sighed and turned to leave, her shoulders slumped in defeat. As Haruto watched her walk away, he realized how much he was hurting her by keeping his feelings bottled up. He wanted to call out to her, to explain everything, but his fear held him back. The days that followed were filled with tension. Haruto's sketches lost their usual vibrancy, reflecting his inner turmoil. Aoi, too, seemed more subdued, her laughter less frequent. Chapter 7. The Cultural Festival. The school's cultural festival was fast approaching, and Haruto and Aoi were paired for an art project. Despite the strain in their relationship, they had to work together to create a mural for the event. As they painted side by side, Haruto found solace in the rhythm of their brushstrokes. Slowly, the mural began to take shape, a colorful depiction of the school's vibrant community. Working together reminded Haruto of the bond they shared and how much he missed their easy companionship. On the day of the festival, the completed mural was unveiled to much applause. Haruto and Aoi stood side by side, their work a testament to their collaboration. In that moment, Haruto felt a glimmer of hope that their friendship could be mended. As night fell and the festival lights twinkled, Haruto found Aoi standing alone by the mural. Gathering his courage, he approached her. "Aoi," he said softly, "I'm sorry for how I've been acting. I was jealous of Riku and scared of losing you." Aoi turned to him, her eyes filled with understanding. "Haruto, you should have told me. I don't want to lose you either." Haruto took a deep breath. "I care about you, Aoi, more than just a friend. I've been scared to admit it, but it's the truth." Aoi's face softened, and she took his hand in hers. "Haruto, I care about you too. Let's not let misunderstandings come between us again." Under the festival lights, Haruto and Aoi's hearts found their rhythm once more. Chapter 8. A Heartfelt Apology. Despite their reconciliation, a misunderstanding led to a major fallout between Haruto and Aoi. Haruto had seen Riku and Aoi together, laughing and talking, and his jealousy flared up again. In a moment of weakness, he lashed out at Aoi, accusing her of playing with his feelings. Aoi, hurt and angry, stormed off, leaving Haruto to regret his harsh words. For days, they avoided each other, the silence between them more painful than any argument. Haruto knew he had to make things right. One evening, he waited for Aoi outside her house. When she finally appeared, Haruto took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Aoi, please listen to me," he began. "I'm sorry for what I said. I was jealous and insecure, but that doesn't excuse my behavior. I care about you so much, and the thought of losing you scared me." Aoi looked at him, her eyes filled with unshed tears. "Haruto, I care about you too, but you need to trust me. If we don't have trust, we can't have anything." Haruto nodded, his heart heavy with remorse. "I know, and I'm willing to work on it. I don't want to lose you, Aoi. Can you forgive me?" Aoi's expression softened, and she took a step closer. "I can forgive you, Haruto. But let's promise to be honest with each other from now on, okay?" Haruto smiled, relief washing over him. "I promise." Chapter 9. A Moment of Truth. With their bond mended, Haruto and Aoi grew even closer. They spent more time together, sharing their hopes and dreams. Yet, despite their deepening connection, Haruto still struggled with expressing his true feelings. One afternoon, as they sat by the river, Aoi turned to Haruto and asked, "Haruto, what do you see in the future?" Haruto hesitated, then took a deep breath. "I see you, Aoi. I see us together. I've been scared to say it, but I love you." Aoi's eyes widened, and for a moment, Haruto feared he had said too much. But then Aoi smiled, her eyes shining with tears. "Haruto, I love you too. I was waiting for you to say it." Haruto's heart soared, and he took Aoi's hand in his. "Then let's face the future together. No more fears or doubts." Aoi nodded, leaning in to rest her head on his shoulder. Together. Chapter 10. Epilogue Whispers of Love. As the school year drew to a close, Haruto and Aoi's relationship continued to blossom. They faced challenges and misunderstandings, but their bond grew stronger with each obstacle. Haruto's art flourished, inspired by his love for Aoi. He won the school's art competition, and Aoi was his biggest supporter, cheering him on every step of the way. Aoi, too, found solace in their relationship. She no longer felt the need to hide behind a cheerful facade, finding comfort in Haruto's understanding presence. On the day of their graduation, Haruto and Aoi stood together, hand in hand, ready to face whatever the future held. As they walked out of the school gates, Haruto whispered, "No matter where life takes us, my heart will always belong to you." Aoi smiled, her eyes filled with love. "And mine to you, Haruto." With their hearts intertwined, Haruto and Aoi stepped into the future, their love a beacon guiding them through the uncertainties of life.